intelligent, but it not tells just nothing about scientific theories. This is the topic of the presentation. The purpose of this research was to investigate the impact or experience offered to participants of scientific conference, as well as the influence of the preservation of natural resources. The main finds were identification of best practice in knowledge management, recommendation for improving the conference attendee experience and destination sustainability, and deeper understanding on how science and tourism can coexist to mutual benefits. The introduction are scientific tourists provide an interface between scientific research and the tourist industry, allowing tourists to actively participate in data collection and knowledge generation. This development presents the challenges and opportunities in KM important for sustainable development. This paper delves into the world of the scientific tourist and explains how knowledge management plays a key role in operation and ground, focusing in the academic activity of international conference. The uh, the different aspect this topic is knowledge management, model of knowledge management, specialty the Nonaka and Takeuchi, and the intangible capital, scientific tourism and sustainable development. The methodology applied this research is contextualization of scientific tourism, the definition of objectives and goals, review and tools and knowledge classification, proposed model and architecture is architecture we are explaining now. Model metrics, the validity of model was evaluated through the expert reviews and pilot tests. The, the model the model presentation is uh, the different models in knowledge management is compound the knowledge resource and the mechanism of facilitator, or finally the indicator, the behavior, the action, these mechanisms. The model is compound, the Noraka Takeuchi is explicit knowledge and tacit knowledge. The resource is the explicit knowledge, safety and emergency protocols, itinerary documentations, good practice guides, regularly documentation, education material, customer satisfaction record, and codes and conduct. And the tacit knowledge is are use of technologies, scientific contents, management, promotion and marketing, use of geographic information technology, evaluation on visitor satisfaction, education itinerary design. This is integrate the intangible capital. The capital, the capital is relationships, professional contact networks, brand reputation and credibility, communities and collaboration, industrial associates, investor relations, customer networking, strategic alliance. The resource, the human capitals are scientific research, professional assistant, tour guides. The resource or technology capitals are parents and intellectual property, software and application, database and information management system, research and development, and the organization capital resource are organization, culture, talent management, process or procedures, customer and supplies, relation and activity, reputation and brand, and innovation capacity. this is the model. This is the model is need the mechanism or indicator for mechanism or indicators for action. Uh, this is the key and core architecture applied to scientific tourists at the conference. Is 6 layers. The presentation layer is composed the mechanisms, user interface, commenting and collaboration system, specific models, and the application layer, the mechanism and facilitator, user management, content management, event management. The business logic layer, uh, facilitators or mechanism data processing, security management, service integration external. The data layer is the database, the, the resource infrastructure layer. The resource is reservers and hosting, networks and connectivity. And the emerging technology layer, the knowledge resource are artificial intelligence and virtual reality or augmented reality. And the third component, the knowledge management model, are the system metrics. The, it is the indicator for behavior knowledge. The impacted metrics, for example, number of participation in scientific conference, number of paper present in the scientific conference, number of scientific publications derived from scientific conference, number of scientific collaboration agreement derived from scientific conference, and the other metrics or the indicators, the efficient metrics, for example, percent of paper present in scientific conference that use the KIEM, percent of scientific publication derived from scientific conference that use the knowledge management system, percent of scientific collaboration agreements derived from scientific conference that use the CAM-ES, and finally, the satisfaction metrics indicators, for example, satisfaction surveys or surveys participating in scientific conference, satisfaction surveys for organization of scientific conference, and satisfaction surveys for research who present paper at scientific conference. The conclusion is scientific tourism is an emergent activity that has the potential to contribute the sustainable development of tourist destinations. KIEN plays a key role in this context as it facilitates the creation, dissemination, and application of scientific knowledge. The model addresses the challenges and opportunities in this camp and propose a knowledge classification and architecture that can be adapted to the specific needs of different tourist destinations. The proposed KIEN model based on the concept of intangible capital as a generate of competitive advantage. It is the model pioneers in knowledge management, presents an innovative approach to the efficient collection, organization, and dissemination of scientific information and experience. This perspective seeks not only to enrich the experience of participation, but also to position scientific destination a leader in sustainable knowledge management. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you. Very interesting topic because it affects us and we have to respond to it. Any question? Yes, yes. Yeah, okay.
Hello, Professor. I'm audible? Hola, buenos días.
Yeah, you
Hello?
can talk. I think he can hear you. You hear him, right? Professor, do you hear us?
Yes, yes.
Just talk,
Okay.
talk.
Buenos días, profesor. ¿Qué tal usted? So my name is Ali Eddin, and I like the presentation you presented about the knowledge management of scientific tourists. And I had a look on the architecture of your model, and my question is, have you taken into account also publications? Because like you did some profiling of a conference, and what about the publication? If you recommend, or in your architecture, the publication, like as next step, what come after the conference? Do you have something like that in your architecture?
Yes, okay, thank you. This research is about the doctoral thesis. The next fact is the implementation, because the knowledge management is a process. It's a process in the time. Yeah? It's possibly the simulation of the model, for implementation this architecture. This architecture are the mechanisms of facilitators. Is the action for create generate knowledge.
Yeah, well, what I mean is like, because you have, for example, organizing a conference, and the next step after the conference is not the problem, challenge with publication. So it will be also a potential, what I recommend in the architecture, to build something for the publication as next step, what could
Yes.
be published and something, with using AI, for example, to recommend to make some profile of the next step after the conference. What about the publication? So to network through your system, network participant with publication publisher. That's what I mean as like improving your architecture. Thank you so much.
Yes. It's possibly the implementation. The Colombian tourist is very diversity, and I need the financiation to implementation this project. Is possibly, and I found the financial for implementation, because this resort is the word academic, but it's possibly dissemination these results.
Okay, Professor. Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor. Now, are we going to see you tonight? So we bring you your certificate in the dinner, or we will not be seeing you?
Is it the same city? Is it the same site?
Yes. No. We'll send you the link then. Okay. So we will bring your certificate to the dinner. So today we have a certificate in the dinner. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. You did your best. I know he got some.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. See you
Thank you,
later.
Ale.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now,
Very much. Okay.
thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you, Professor. Now we need to go to see if Riham can join. Let me just withdraw your privilege here, Professor, first. Okay, and then mute. Now, where is Riham? Let's see. Can you unmute Riham?
Yes, here.
Yes. Can you share your slide?
Okay.
What you need to do, you need to open your PowerPoint. Yes. You just need to click share and then find your PowerPoint and click on it.
I cannot share.
Why?
Mm.
No. We cannot make you host. No. So I think we need to move, Riham. We'll come to you back. You have to find a way of knowing how to share.
I click and share screen, but
Yeah, you can talk to your professors here after we will come back to you, okay? Yeah. Yes. Now, Ali, we'll give you a last chance, not because we don't want to listen to you, but we want to give you a last chance because we have to fly. This flight has to go, Ali. You were in the runway twice and you can't fly. Can you unmute, ya Ali? Can you unmute? ممكن تفتح الصوت?
Yes, you listen to me now.
We listen to you now. Can you share your screen?
I try share.
No try. You have to share, Ali.
Okay. F5.
One of my first job, the boss said to me, Alam, don't say I will try. Either you do it or you don't do it. And I said, okay, what's try is good. Yes, yes, fine. And I remember one of my colleagues in the university said,
it's okay now.
No, it's not okay. We can't see your slides. This is just a real story, but it happened a long time ago. Yes, excellent. So you are making excellent progress. So our pressure is making, excellent.
You can see now.
We can see you and go ahead. We're not going to ask you anything. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I go ahead now.
Yes, go ahead, Ya Ali. We are listening to you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today I am very happy to talk about an important topic in Islamic insurance, the Sharia governance framework of Sharia Supervisory Board in Takaful Insurance in Arab North Africa countries. So I am very grateful for my Professor Nasser Salah Ahmed for his continuous support, especially while preparing this study. Takaful, we know Takaful is the Islamic version of insurance. It's based on cooperation and helping each other. Participants put money into a shared fund to support anyone who faces a loss without interest or unfair uncertainty. If the fund doesn't have enough money, the Takaful company can give it an interest-free loan, which is paid back later when there is extra money. And we know the first modern Takaful system started in Sudan 1979, and since that it has grown to more than 65 countries. The Takaful industry grows quickly, about 100% every year. With this fast growth, it's important to make sure...
Ali, the slide is not moving, Ya Ali.
Now?
The next slide. Can you press on the next slide?
Yes, this is the next slide now.
No, I think you have. أنت فاتح اثنين من الباوربوينت؟
فاتح جميع الباوربوينت. Now
سكرهم كلهم وافتح واحد بس.
اوكي.
يلا اعمل اضغط على السكرين، اعمل عرض. اضغط على عرض يا علي.
Yes. Share now. It's okay now.
انت فاتح اكتر من واحد يا علي صح؟
لا فاتح واحد بس حاليا واحد.
العرض ما هو انت بتقول ايوه الان ريسيرش كويشن كده. اضغط ثاني، اضغط السلايد اللي بعده.
It's okay.
يلا ارجع بعد كده وواصل يلا.
Okay. The takaful industry grows quickly, about 100% every year. With this fast growth, it's important to make sure that takaful continues to follow Islamic rules. Sharia supervisory boards are the best way to this task. These boards must be independent so they can be so they can be fair and avoid conflict of interest. Most researchers looks at the Gulf, the Middle East, or South Asia. Few studies analyze shared governance for Sharia supervisory board in North Africa. There is no researchers using quantitative content analysis. And in this paper, we aimed to fill this gap by comparing Sharia governance framework of Sharia supervisory board in Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, and Egypt. And we try to answer this question: is there gap in the Sharia governance framework of Sharia supervisory boards in the North Africa countries? And is there disparity in the Sharia governance frameworks situation across the studies countries? And we can note common findings. There is weakness in Sharia governance frameworks of Sharia supervisory boards and in need for reform. Most studies applied principles agents theory, and there is limitation defined authority to appointment dismissal of Sharia supervisory boards, often given to company boards and General Assembly. So there is conflict of interest and rarely applied quantitative content analysis in such cases. And we use the content analysis of Sharia governance framework of Sharia supervisory boards, Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, and Egypt. And we collect data from documents of the Takaful Insurance. We bought measurement scales. It began from 0 to 100 index. 0 mean very weak governance, 100 very strong governance. And we make test and retest. There is agreement confidence from 96.4, 100% acceptable. And we try to measurement, appointment, dismissal, fees and benefits, report orientation, member limit, rights and duties, meeting attendance, supervision and accountability. Scoring scale: 0 main, no included, 30% weak governance, medium 70% medium governance, and 85 to 100 strong governance. And we go to results. Egypt 66.5, it's 100% medium. Tunisia 62.5 medium. Morocco 53.75 medium. Libya 51.25 medium. Algeria 33.75 weak. Weight average for all countries, it's about 53.75 medium governance. So there is weak area, appointment, dismissal, fees and benefits, member limit. And when we can show independence issue, authority to appointment dismissal, Sharia supervisory board, largely with General Assembly or board directors, no participant. Governance weakens, low score is appointment, dismissal, fees and benefits, and member limit. Country level difference: Algeria weakest with 33.75, Egypt strongest with 66.5%. Other countries is medium range. So must Sharia supervisory boards compose only Sharia finance, looking insurance industry expert, accountability gaps, monitoring often under insurance authorities, not subscriptions. And when we go to conclusion, and we can say Sharia governance frameworks in North Africa, takaful companies are based on traditional agency theory, focusing on wealth preservation rather than Sharia objectives. Power guaranteed to General Assembly and boards of directors, undermine Sharia supervisory board independence. The absence of legal protection makes people less confident in Sharia supervisory board's reports. And we have some recommendations. Number one, empower policyholders as true owners of the takaful fund. Limit powers of insurance companies to act only as agents. Reassess Sharia governance frameworks using objectives of Sharia theory, maqasid Sharia, include insurance industry experts and Sharia supervisory boards for better oversight, conduct filed studies to explore views of Sharia supervisory board members and subscriptions authorities. Thank you for your attention.
Ali, thank you very much. I know you tried your best. Let's see if there's any question here for the floor. Thank you very much, Ali. Any question?
Thanks, Mr. Alam.
Yes? Yeah, you can hear you. Just go.
Hello, Ali. I have really one question. You hear me, huh? I was just surprised with the data in Tunisia, because I come from Tunisia, and in Tunisia 61%, right? Because I haven't seen your presentation.
I don't understand. I don't listen well. Can you repeat?
Hello, Ali. You hear me now better?
Hello?
Yeah. So I've seen in your presentation, you have a great presentation, and I've seen in your presentation that Tunisia has around 61%, right?
62.5.
I was surprised because I'm actually from Tunisia, and because I was surprised for one thing, because in Tunisia, Sharia is not really applied in, you know what I mean? And how was your approach to get?
Is it good for you or no?
Is it good? Of course.
So it's very good. It's very good. And we analyzes insurance loan in North Africa, and we bought 8 scales, and we make measurement for 8 scales. I said, and when we collect the results, Tunisia is medium, is 62.5. So I read the insurance in Tunisia, and the problem in all insurance loan, not Tunisia alone, all insurance, it depend on traditional insurance, and use it in takaful insurance. So this is a main problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, any other question before we? No question? No, any other question? Okay, Ali, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Alam. Thank Goodbye.
So now Withdraw this one. Now we're going to move to three next speaker. The chair of the next session is Dr. Randa, and I think the three speakers are here. I will help you just technically to download their PowerPoints. So I will hand over now. I was just trying to intervene to get this sorted. Where is it? I want to make sure the PowerPoint. You have yours in the flash, okay? And you have. Do you also have yours in a flash, Nisha? Okay, if here anyway. I'm just trying to open it.
Sorry, do I also present now?
Huh?
Do I present?
You also do you have your in flash, or you wanted to download it from here?
Download would be.
Okay. So, yes, I think you can. You have three speakers.
Professor Victor already went.
يتكلم, yes. So you have Muhammad is here, and the other Muhammad is also here, and Nishu. The three of them are here. So, who is speaking first? Nishu? Who is this? Oh, Nishu? Okay, I think our PowerPoint is ready. Yeah.
Who would you? The second speaker is Mohammed
Okay.
Alawani.
Okay, let me just make sure.
And then Dr. Nishu, and then Dr. Mohammed Hassan. Are they all here
Okay.
in person?
Yes.
See, perfect.
That's why I think.
Yeah, take it out.
So let me. You can go ahead and introduce them, and I will download the slides for.
The slides.
Yeah.
Okay, well, welcome to the 8th session. I'm glad to see you guys here in person, and for those of you. You good?
Yes.
Welcome again to the 8th session of the WASP conference. Thank you all for being here, whether in person or online. You did me yesterday, and I've seen some of
How
you
much do you
yesterday.
have? It's very heavy, I think. I will try, but it's okay. I will try anyway. Carry on, Professor. Sorry.
Sure. Leadership, knowledge management, and higher education. Of course, this is one of my favorites because I'm always knocking on conference doors and saying, hey, why don't you include us? We're academics. Hello, this is what we do for a living. So it's always important to highlight that in our own sessions. Of course, we're all here presenting from an academic point of view. Most of us are coming from the academic background, but it's also important to highlight that to everyone who is watching as well, that we do take these titles seriously, and we're not just here to brainstorm amongst one another. We're actually doing a lot of work to in hopes of transferring that knowledge to the economy, whether it's directly or indirectly. So thank you for this session, Dr. Allah. Yes, first we will start off with, we've got a nice diverse group of people as well as topics within this spectrum. So we'll start off with Dr. Nishu Avedi from Compab 360 Degree India, and she will be giving us her insight on educating for impact, aligning India's higher education with global sustainability goals. Please help me welcome Dr. Nishu.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good morning, all of you. I've last 1 day and 2 days, I'm seeing that a lot of people are coming and giving their great research work. But here I'll speak, since I'm from a company and I work with the universities. So I come with an experience and with the topic that he had given me. So I was quite researching on what the universities that we are working with globally are how much is their contribution and their interest in this topic. So this is what I would I've put all together the experience and the feedback that I've got from the universities and conferences. So the profile that I hold is that I am working for Confab 360 Degree, where we are connecting the academicians and professionals, and we are building a bridge between the industry and the universities. And secondly, we're building the bridge between the universities and the universities all over the world. So SDGs driving education is that these are the 4 goals that were given, where I researched that how much is the quality of education being practiced in the universities, what is the gender equality, affordable and clean energy, is it being taken seriously as an agenda for the university, climate action, is it being taken care at the university, at the student level, faculty level, is it being taken care of? And the last one is, are they partnering themselves and contributing towards the SDGs? So the key findings that I researched and I found was that the Indian universities lacked structured SDGs integration. They are understanding it, but there is no clear infrastructure, or there is no clear structure to how they can deal with it, they can practice it, and they can contribute. So there was completely a lack in their practice when this came to their table. The other one is the SDGs improve governance, ranking, and policy alignment. Yes, it is there in our NAP policy, and I talk from the Indian universities point of view. It is in our agenda, but we are not able to give it our 100%. The other one is that SDGs are contributing and they are boosting research excellence, but to a very, very little and a low level, which I was seeing that there were some universities, maybe around, we have around 1,500 universities in India, and around 100 universities were practicing SDGs and were contributing towards the research that it is holding on, right? And also the global competence that Indian universities or the universities in our neighboring countries, even Malaysia and Vietnam, when I was talking to them, they are also not contributing at a very large scale to the global competition towards the SDGs. So how SDGs can be important and calculated in the higher universities, as sir was saying that he has made LISD, right, where he is having curriculum and he is working towards sustainable goals. So here, when I was going through, such universities or such initiatives can come in collaboration with these universities and form some kind of curriculum for them, where they can practice the SDGs, they can practice sustainability, they can put it down to the young generation, because the young generation is not knowing that what it is going to help them or what it is going to support them in the present as well as in the future. So hence, as they were talking about LISD, and they have such a noble cause that they want to contribute towards the sustainability, I would say, sir, that if you can plan such curriculum for the faculty as well as the student level, where they can come in and practice, because it is not there in major universities as well as countries. So if you can come up with that, definitely these universities would come and collaborate, because right now if you say the pressure of sustainability in university is still sidelined, it's not their main agenda, it's not their main focus. So if you come in and you take that sidelined of initiatives on your shoulders, yes, definitely it can contribute towards the university, towards the country, towards the nation, and ultimately toward the world. Now, faculty capacity building and global exposure. The faculties are not exposed towards the sustainability or the goals or such big frameworks. they are more aligned towards the academic goals, right? So the students, their exams, their work, their research papers, their attendance, then there is an admin work that the faculties have to do. So when you come down to these sustainable goals, there are a lot of universities that are still on pen and paper examination. We have still not switched on to any electronic paperwork where electronic work where they can give in their exams. There are some universities and some higher end exams that are being held electronically, but when it comes to the exams in a large number where classroom tests are there, classroom assessments are there, case studies are there, or even reading and writing and focusing on research papers, everything is on paper. So that, or on register, so that needs to come in. And if some kind of technology or some kind of curriculum or some kind of work that can come and help the universities to take the paperwork to the electronic world, then it can help in sustainability. Else we are just talking in a room and nothing is going out in the universities at the ground level and working for the sustainability. Because the chunk 90 when I was doing my research, there is 10% 20% at a very very lower level where where schools, colleges, universities are there, and then there is 10% higher universities that contribute, that are there at that level where they can practice sustainability. But the rest, 80% to 70%, is the middle universities, is the mid level. Now here they do not practice, or they do not consider it as their main goal, that they can practice SDGs. So I from this conference that I take away, and I would like to collaborate, or I would like to put forward that if we can come together, have some framework where where these mid-level universities can come, practice some SDGs, and come out with some kind of outcome that is going to be helpful and can be bigger in the coming times, it would be great. So this was my finding. And the other one is strengthening industry and academia partnership. As I was saying, that industry is more focused towards sustainability, not the university. While I was researching the university paperwork, though how much ever paper is there in the university, it goes to the dump yard, right? So there is a lot of paper that goes to the dump yard. They don't know how to recycle it. There are very less universities that have recycling for notebooks, that have a recycling for library books, that have recycling for the pens that we use, that have a lot of plastic in them. So there is a great work that needs to be done there, which is still not there. Industry and academia needs to come together when we are talking about sustainability. In major parts, industry and academia comes together for placement. They come together for great and good students. They come together for projects which industry can benefit in terms of some models, and the academia can put it down on their paper and show it to the government for their rankings, may it be any ranking. So that sustainability, which has a noble cause behind it, is somewhere gone out the window. So to my knowledge, to my research, this aspect plays a great role if we have to take the sustainability and the SDG goals in a serious way. Now, why SDG integration is critical for universities? I see that because global education is shifting from degree based to competency based learning. Yes, today students are preferring that I prefer to get more competency, more skill based courses than the degree courses. So here the course that are coming up, students prefer to even drop down in many in some year in 4 years or 3 years of course, and they move towards some practical aspect, like the startups. They are coming up now. These startups, they believe that what we can contribute towards our knowledge and towards the skill and talent we have, rather than the degree that we are getting from the colleges. So if the universities can come and give them that practical exposure towards when they shift towards the industry, how they have to work for the sustainability. That would be a great support from the university side to the students, and from the students by to turning down to an employee, and in turn contributing to the industry, because it's going to be from this point to that point. This is how sustainability is going to sustain and be valuable. Else sustainability is only going to work in corners, which is not going to contribute at large, right? So SDGs provide a universal framework for future ready graduates. If you ask the graduates that what is sustainability for you, what is keeping the environment or thinking about the climate, what is it for you, the one thing they say is that plastic. But if you see the youngsters, they are all with chips packets, they're equipped with plastics from head to toe. So when you ask them how are you going to dispose them of, they hardly have that knowledge that where they have to dispose those products, and how they can help in climate and what they can contribute. So the research fields where sustainability is there, I was researching that how many international universities have courses over sustainability. To my surprise, sir, sustainability courses are very, very few in many universities, may it be the Western countries or the Asian countries or the European countries. So here, the courses for sustainability are very handful. So hence we need, or the universities needs to think about it and put in and contribute more there. It aligns to Indian universities with international accreditation, promotes interdisciplinary learning and innovation ecosystem. Now, what are the challenges in implementing SDGs in higher education? As I told you, there is a lack of structured policies and institutional frameworks. There is no policies or institutional framework that comes to play. So universities don't feel it important. Now, universities or industries only feel it important when the mandate comes from the government. That when the government says that this is what is mandatory and you've got to follow it, then it comes into play. Else the universities or the industries do not by themselves come out with some kind of innovation or some kind of some kind of more frameworks. So this is what it is. Then there is a need for investment in green infrastructure, which is very, very few. So it has to be worked there. Now, strategies for effective SDGs and implementation is, again, I've been saying that universities lack curriculum or any sustainability exam. I've not seen students going through any sustainability project work. I've not seen them going through any river cleaning. In India, basically, it is, I'm talking about from that perspective, that there is some project work which has gone on sea cleaning or the river cleaning or land filling. There is a great project that is going on by the Indian universities about landfills, which is taking a toll in many countries, that the clothes that we wear, right, they're disposed of, but they cause a lot of environmental hazard. So in that perspective, India is working very, very largely. So we hope that there are innovation labs that we can get in, where we can talk about sustainability and have sustainability clubs. These are the best practices that I've seen that the countries are following. Finland was number one, where sustainability woven into national education policies. Here, Finland has included that national education policies, that the sustainability has to be included in national education policies, right? So this is what Finland is saying. UK in university is required to publish. Now here they have to publish their annual sustainability audits, that how much have you contributed towards the sustainability. So UK works in that case. Australia mandate for carbon neutral campuses initiatives. So here Australia also, and if you see, these are all push by the government. It's not the universities or industries that are coming on to themselves. It's all the mandates have been done by the government. So in UAE also, industry integrated sustainability innovation clubs are there, where they come in together and talk about sustainability, and there you have to get in some innovation where sustainability is being talked about. Pollution, I just went recently in the Dubai thing, where they were talking about how to curb in the traffic and the pollution. And secondly, they were talking about this building, when there is construction being done, so the dust that flies, how do we curb that? So that UAE was talking, and hence they developed some brick which is quite costly, which absorbs the carbon from the environment and hence cleanses the environment. These are the research opportunities which I have jotted down, that climate technology and renewable energy is one research topic that we should all focus, and universities should focus on. Great chances of being there. AI for sustainable agriculture and smart cities. This is very much been worked in India and is doing a great work there. Gender equality, health equality, and inclusive growth, and policy research for governance and institutional reforms. Now, this is the role of technology and AI in SDG, where AI-driven personalized learning system is there. Blockchain for transparent research and aggregation. VR for immersive sustainability in education. Yes, we need the VR for the sustainability education. In education, we need to get in such kind of projects, labs, where the students can work and come out with something that they show their interest. Last, Confab 360 degree, how we have done our initiatives here. National level sustainability and workshops and training programs we are doing. We are talking, we'll be talking next to Professor Alam, that how universities and SDGs auditing and benchmarking can be done. Some SDG tracker was being done. That's for the nations. But if you can get it for the industry, you can get it for the universities, that would be a great impact to the nations, because the universities are contributing at large in a nation and industries are contributing to a large in a nation. So if there is SDG tracker to that level, so that can be great. It can help the nations to track how this industry or how this university is contributing or violating there. So that is there. EdTech innovations and employability and research is there. International partnerships is mandate for any for our world to sustain. So thank you, and this would be my conclusion about SDGs, because I had given this topic and I researched to the best of my experience, to the best of what I could work and get in. I'm sorry, I'm short of little data, but for the next, we don't stop here. Next time I get with complete data and like a researcher, I talk.
You raised a point which none of us have raised. We knew it's on our minds about recycling, about disposing, and you brought up such challenging issues to all of us. It was amazing, Nisha. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Wendy. Any questions, please stay here. Call. We can talk.
Any questions? I have a question, actually, not a question, rather, just to continue a short discussion with Dr. Nishu. I think you brought up a very important point that universities, rather, let's put this way, academia has a very important role to play from the grassroots, because we are the ones who are educating the future. Okay, so from that point, if we are inculcating the concept of sustainability to the students' level, to the faculty level, and so on. So that is our contribution. And just to share one very good information with all of us here and the people who are online, we're doing a project which you just mentioned about the university. We are doing a project where we are measuring the entire globe, rather universities, even in the remote areas, how many courses they have for sustainability, what are the research projects they have, how many workshops they have conducted, how many, for example, conferences they are doing, and what SDG they are focusing on. So this is completely data-based, you can say quantitative analysis, just to see the figures. At this point, we are just seeing the figures. And from the figures, probably we're going to go ahead and do a quantitative analysis. So we are doing our job as an academician, as a researcher, and that carries forward the responsibility to all of us to contribute in that in some way or the other. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. So at the end, I would just like to conclude the universities have just one small bit, and about if they have 100 faculties, they just have 2 to 3 faculties talking and contributing to sustainability. That has to go to all 100. Only then we can see the next generation flourishing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Nisho. And I have to highlight something that you've already spoken about, Dr. Nisho. The idea that industry is more focused on the SDGs than the academics. I wrote that down. It's absolutely true. It's like a complementary to our initial strategy. But I'd love to come back on that later. We'll connect, inshallah. Thank you very much for that. Our next speaker is Dr. Mohammed Hassan Sayed from the University of Southampton, who will be talking to us today about the title From Compliance to Regeneration, a Roadmap for the Chemical Industry Post-2030. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, morning still after everyone. I've changed my title slightly after investigating a bit further on. So it's always a work in progress. It's been a work in progress over the last, I would say 20 years, but the last specifically 5 years being at Southampton. So I've changed it to Molecules to Sustainability and 10-Dimensional Framework for Chemical Engineering. Sorry about that, everyone.
But the presentation is not shared online.
Where is it online?
زوم
Zoom ده؟
ارجع
ده؟
ايوه شير سكرين
Should be Windows.
Share.
I share.
ايوه. Okay, everyone. As I was saying, I've changed it slightly to become Molecules to Sustainability and Chemical Engineering, a 10-dimensional framework. And it's been a work in progress for 20 years because I've worked in developing courses in Kuwait, I've worked in Egypt, I worked here in the UK at different universities, and I've had the pleasure of developing courses from concept all the way to accreditation. So this has been a work in progress over 20 years, I would say, but homed in sustainability specifically over the last 5 years here. So in terms of what I was trying to think here is the agenda for 2030 is the 17 goals that we know about, the 170 accords that we have here, and they are not the end point. They are a point in time that we're going to move beyond them. So we need to think of what we're going to do around that element here. And we need to think of the endeavors of what we teach, how we teach it, and how we can integrate sustainability in terms of the 3 pillars or whatever philosophy you believe on, the 5 pillars. Profit, people, planet is the 3 constant element, but then there's partnership and prosperity. That's also part of it here. So we need to think holistically around what we can improve in our academic teachings beyond the 2030 requirements, because obviously we're not meeting the 2030 requirements at the moment. So if we think beyond it, we're going to fail even further on unless we change the mindset of how we progress and capacity develop the new generation in a new mindset away from the way that we were being taught things classically. So I'm going to give you a framework about chemical engineering specifically. It's my discipline. It's what I spent a lifetime working on, basically. And traditionally, chemical engineering to us is the interface between the science and between the engineering to bring useful products into the market. From an economical point of view, we focus on the raw material being upscaled, we focus on the reaction pathway, and we focus on the separation. We take the useful products, disregard the waste, and that's the end of chemical engineering. And it's a framework that's been successful. It catalyzes everything around us: food, pharmaceutical, the energy sector, transportation sector. Anything you do from the time you wake up to the time you sleep, whatever it is, has a chemical engineering impact into it. So we are a discipline that's diffused into every element of life, and we have to understand how we teach and how we can progress the next generation to teach in a more sustainable manner. So the core of chemical engineering essentially is this element. Okay, the core of chemical engineering is essentially this framework here. I take the raw material, I put them through a cooker, basically, And then I bring products out in the market. The products, as I said, is everything around us. So I designed the unit operation, I designed the pathways, I take what chemistry does in a lab in a small scale, disregarding economy, disregarding safety, disregarding temperature limits, pressure limits. And what I have to do is make it economical. That is the function of chemical engineering. So I move from 1 pill a minute, 1 pill an hour, costing £500, to synthesizing to 10,000 pills a minute at 30 pence or whatever, 40 pence you buy the medication, the ibuprofen at here. So that's my job, essentially. That's what I train the students to do here. But this framework lacks the concept of sustainability. We focus on environmental engineering, mitigating wastes, but we don't think about it from a green engineering point of view, an outward thinking point of view, a platform where we incorporate different dimensions that are required for the sustainability, the profit, the people, which is the essential part. What do we mean by that? And the planet, and then the partnership and the prosperity. So the new framework, that what we're proposing to do is move the limits of what this framework has to do to be a multi-layered limit. And the new layers should incorporate a stronger element between the fundamentals in an educational point of view to incorporate the societal elements. So the policies that are driving society, the green skills that are required should be part of the framework that we want to address here. The decisions in terms of how we execute things and the trade-offs between the economy and between the policy and between the society and between the technical benefits and the productivity and the economical benefits should be addressing the grander challenges in terms of limited resources, in terms of diminishing environmental capacity. How can we incorporate all these elements into it? So the framework wants to redefine chemical engineering to a new definition: application of science, mathematics, and economics for the conversion of raw material, basically, but at the heart of it should be the sustainable principles, whether it's the 3 or the 5. I'm going to always fluctuate between them. Profit, planet, and people, that's cost and sustainability, but we need to take prosperity and partnership integrated into that framework into it. So the new framework is essentially the bottom of the screen. You take the molecules, you process them, you produce the product. The product should have a societal impact, so the society needs feedback into that within an economical framework that features that. And this means to us, okay, is understanding the limitation of what we teach now. So at the moment, what we do is we are optimizing systems, or in other words, we reduce. What do I mean by reduce? I reduce the raw material, but I maintain the product output limitations, okay? I reduce the emissions. I reduce the energy and water usage. I reduce the waste, okay? Reducing is part of what we do on a day-to-day basis, but it still does not meet the sustainable challenges. So the next stage is I should think about reusing, bringing the circularity concept of economy into it, circular economy, rather than the linear economy. Instead of produce, use, dispose, I want to recycle all that and as much as possible minimize the wasted output from the system here. So the new concept is any water coming out of my systems, any energy coming out of my systems should be recycled back into the systems or sold off to alternative people who can use it in a symbiotic manner. Okay. Again, I want to see about the waste that I generate. Where can the waste go? Okay. Why am I disposing of it? Can I use it as a raw material, as a feed for something else? And the other thing is to start thinking about replacing. I want to go towards a bio-based economy. Hydrocarbons are exposing, but biological systems, bio-based materials grow in a shorter amount of time. They're recycled in a short period of time. So if I can optimize the processes that I have to incorporate the bio-base, I'm a successful person in meeting a continuous feedstock that captures the carbon, releases it through my process rather than just emit it over geological time scales, a long time scale. Okay, I want to think about the processing, because if I'm going to start building new processes and start thinking about it, I want to move towards intensifications, flow chemistry, all the new terminologies that we're at the moment investigation in lab capacity for optimization, but nobody is implementing in real life scenarios. And we want to start bringing these concepts into reality for the production, because our factories stay in the environment for 25, 50 years, 60 years. If you look at certain manufacturing sites like ExxonMobil has, Foley Refinery in Southampton next to my university, it's been there for the last 60 years, supplying 70% of the diesel and the petrol to the UK. So that process plant has been there for 70 years, and they don't want to improve any process because it's yield them the money. It's within the government legislations, but we need to move away from that element here. So the process is we need to think of reinventing everything around our educational systems, okay? Reinvent the feedstocks, the efficiency, the equipment, everything that we do, how we use the energy, how we use the construction building, how we do the open spaces, how we do everything around the system. So to give you a summary for a chemical engineering point of view, to build up the dimensions, we do one thing well, okay? Our traditional understanding of the principles of chemistry linked to the engineering elements in terms of mass and heat transfer, building 3D reactors and simulating them on computers, addressing the time domain and the capacity building, we do that very well, okay? But what we miss from that element is an ethical decision-making exercise to link that people, planet into the profit endeavors that we're doing here. We look at safety and we look at the environment, okay? But we don't think about it in a systematic way, and it should cross across all boundaries. We need to think of the LCA integrated around the systems here. So we look at it in terms of a narrow point of view, okay? We do certain things quite well. What we need to start thinking about is scaffolding, reconstructing how we teach chemical engineering from year 1 all the way to year 5 or year 4, depending on which school of thought you are, okay? Start using real case studies around the systems here and encouraging the system thinking across the element. So all the 5 pillars of sustainability are integrated through the systems, not a technical person, a person who's holistically thinking about that systems. Bodies of regulation and industry should incorporate part of the teaching, and we need to get digitalizations more incorporated in our system. So the framework takes the first element, the first 4 dimensions up to HSE. We do that quite well, but we need to think of the higher element in terms of sustainable tools and in terms of societal impact to redesign our syllabus and build it in a better manner and a digitized manner. So going back to my layers of understanding, chemical engineering, first layer, we do well, okay? I don't need to comment about it. What I'm proposing is I need to move beyond the comfort zone that we have in teaching to redevelop the syllabus in a better way. So the next layer should take into account the sustainability, the safety, everything, but in terms of a systematic thinking here, okay? They should not be as an additive to the syllabus. They should be integrated into our teaching syllabuses from the day the student enters the university throughout the process here. So it's not an additive, it's an integrated scaffolding foundation element in terms of the teaching that we do here. And the last element is everything must incorporate the forward thinking in terms of biobases, moving the LCA from the cradle to grave in a technical manner, quantifying carbons and other nasty emissions, to actually a social LCA and a life cost analysis integrated into the teaching framework so we can incorporate the sustainability element here. Society and policy should be a big element of what we do because we don't want to be disjointed from the policymakers who can come up with great policies that technology cannot achieve. Great example of that in the UK, they committed to 2030 electrical vehicles in the roads. They failed to reach the target and they pushed it to 2038 now, and the likelihood is going to push it even further. So we need to think of that element here. And this is where we then enhance our syllabus to meet molecules all the way to society in a very scaffolding manner, looking at the dimensions of what we teach from year 1 to 2, sustainability pillars, people, profit, planet, the ethics, the decisions, all these tools that are not technical, where we are in our comfort zone, should be incorporated in our syllabus from every module that we walk through. A green element, a sustainable element should be there, and the student should demonstrate that through the learning outcomes and through the assessment matrix as he progresses through the years to meet a level of expansion of knowledge to show the depth and breadth of meeting, not just understanding the principles that we all understand and we all think we're applying now, to actually have an incremental stage levels to think beyond the limitations of the current SDGs that we have and move beyond that element here. So it becomes an integration element. Okay, AHAP4 and IChemE, they're the regulatory bodies here. Okay, the Engineering Council, that's the Institute of Chemical Engineers, they set the boundaries for what we teach. AHAP4 is the Accreditation Higher Educational Program Committee, and essentially they guide what we do. And what I've done is taken what they have and highlighted where the limitation of what they have in their framework compared to what we are trying to do in Southampton in terms of linking the 10 dimensions that I've established here throughout the systems. So the idea is help people in program directors to think of SDGs and think of these 10 dimensions not as an additive. I put in a course called Economy and Sustainability, therefore I have a sustainable course. No, it's the fact that you take principles of engineering, reaction engineering, all the way through, and every element of that must have the concept of sustainability into it. Again, accreditation bodies need to think of sustainability as a broken down element, and the policy and the digitization nowadays in terms of machine learning, artificial intelligence, and they should be a core learning component across all engineering disciplines, so the students have a forward-thinking mindset. They should not think about them as an additives like they do nowadays. And policies need to help us, or the UN frameworks need to help us. It's not just you sign up to a committee, we agree to a certain thing. That's why the COPs, the Compass of Protocols from Paris to Kyoto Summit to the recent Paris are always failing, because we talk the talk, but we never walk the walk by implementing this element. Okay, so the take-home messages is we need to rethink of how we're going to teach the chemical engineering, how we teach every discipline. It doesn't have to be chemical engineering, it could be medicine. Okay, you can change the framework as long as the SDGs are built into the element of the system. We need to think of everything as a cradle to grave supply chain, and we need to think about it from a social and economical point of view, integrating a systems thinking additives to it here. Okay, I'll move on. I've predicted some of the questions that you're going to ask me, so I'm going to go through them because I've only got 1 minute left here. Okay, as I said, all disciplines are very crowded. We teach the fundamentals all the way to the higher level of breadth and depth of our disciplines. The issue is when we perceive policies, economy, sustainability, then should not be additive. They should be integrated into what we teach to show the linkages of the systems here between us here. So the student should demonstrate a capability of understanding from year 1, year 2, year 3, and progress that sustainability element through it. It's evidence in our teaching learning outcome, and it's evidence in our assessment matrix. It should be there and should be integrated. It's not a tick box anymore. It is a fact of life that they have to go through it here. And again, I'm not asking everyone to invest heavily into it. Admittedly, at Southampton, I invested in a lab for £5 million, but that's beside the point. Okay, I'm a technical element here. These should come from the policymakers, from the current case studies that we have. Okay, the literature, okay, per day we bring 10,000 papers are published every day. That's enough to take the as-is models and to look at how we can do the to-be models based on a sustainable framework. So the students can take any paper, rehash it in a sustainable understanding, and that helps me then build the layers of society, economy, prosperity, partnership, and all these elements into it. And it is transferable to any discipline, as I said, if I take medicine, mechanical engineering, or anything like that here. And this will then help me think of SDGs and the goals for 2030 as a capability and a capacity developer rather than a goal. A goal is a target that I should achieve or fail. But if I think about it as a capability, then I'm bringing in new people with new mindsets who are not aspiring to the goal, but who are capable of pushing the goal boundaries beyond what I put as a limit. And that's where we should be at with the SDGs, not just saying it's a goal I should achieve. I need to keep pushing the goal boundaries to achieve the goal. And that's what I try to do with that 10 dimensions, in terms of changing the mindsets and addressing the climate change and addressing all the next generation to think at that way here. So the whole concept of what I've been trying to do for the last 5 years comes down to this statement, which says, stop sharing me, okay? Teaching engineering, okay, should be changed to meet and achieve a realistic ambition beyond 2030 here. I mean, I'm accompanying this, and as I said, it's been a labor of 5 years. I have finished my presentation. I am actually publishing a book that takes into account not just the framework, but all the different tools and exercises that we have developed over the last 5 years in terms of mass transfer, heat transfer, reaction engineering, that incorporates sustainability, incorporates HSE, incorporates economy, incorporates that in an incremental manner from the time you come into university to the time you graduate. Because I've recently graduated my first batch, so I do have a full case study now that I'm going to publish. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Sorry, my details are here in case anyone wants to get in touch. I'm always looking for case studies, looking for partnerships, because it's one of the pillars of sustainability.
Partnership of all partners.
Partnerships, yeah. Partnerships, prosperity, people, profit, planet. That's what I want.
Any questions for Dr. Pagman?
I'm just saying that it's really amazing presentation. I like it so much.
Yes.
And I will connect with you because I have some, but we need time to discuss because yesterday I presented something, solution AI to reduce carbon emission and to optimize supply chain, to make supply chain sustainable supply chain.
Yeah.
So I really need a lot of inputs from you. So thank you so much.
Yeah, no, feel free anytime. I'm happy to get in touch with anyone.
You're very spontaneous, and your presentation was very engrossing for us. And
I thought
that I'd come in here, but I couldn't. I just kept on, It was amazing. Thank you so much.
20 years in the making for teaching academics, so I should be able to present the lecture. Yeah.
As an evidence.
Yeah, I mean, sustainability is the heart of everything, so you should be passionate about what you deliver across the system.
Looking forward to some partnership with you.
Please, anyone, the contact details are still here. Feel free.
One more question back here.
The engineering student, what the top skills, green skills, should be to prepare them to be ready for sustainability, and how you can how they can gain this skill from the education to apply this, for example, in the industry or this. And also in terms for the industry, so what the biggest barrier for them to apply this sustainability in their production steps?
I mean,
the biggest, and how the university can collaborate with them. So from bench to this practice.
Okay. Okay, I mean, you've asked about 3 things.
Yes.
First, well, 5, but I'm going to count some of them into 3.
Let's go.
Okay. First of all, industries have a comfort zone themselves. Okay. They want to achieve profit. They want to not spend money. And if the policies are not there to restrict them, to push them forward, they're not going to change the mindsets. And that brings us to the partnership with the universities. In God we trust, that's what Deming said, but all others must bring data. What we lack at university for our research is the data. And the data comes from the industry, who under the umbrella of confidentiality, master paper. So what we do is theoretical frameworks that end up in Elsevier database somewhere, not materializing into reality. Unless the policy pushes them, we're never going to achieve that element. It should be a partnership, and hence the partnership is important, so they can come through under MOTs or agreed confidentialities, NEDs, to give us the set of data so we can model the as-is and to P modeling, basically. And that brings us to the student mindset that you were asking here. The green scales, okay, there's green chemistry and environmental chemistry, there's different types of tools. What the students need to start thinking about is, at the moment, the framework doesn't support it. But in their final year projects, they can start building that. They need to start thinking about, not what I should be doing that yields money nowadays. It's about more about what can I contribute to society that will benefit me financially, and think about the green skills and the green jobs that are coming up. Okay, a lot of, I talk to my children nowadays, and all of them are interested in being YouTubers because that's what pays money. Okay, in my generation, we were thinking about either medicine or the engineering. That's what yields money. But we need to start changing that mindset and showing how the integration happens across the systems here. Sustainability essentially should not be a tick box, and I think that's what you've said earlier on. It should be a holistic lifestyle that we should change the mindset from, not university students, younger students as well, to start thinking about it. It's not just an additive or a skill that I need to do, a capacity I need to develop. It's a mindset in terms of not just recycling and reusing, but in terms of adaptability across all elements. Hopefully that answers your question. Yeah.
Any further questions? You can catch
Just
Professor.
one question. You know the DEFRA.
Here in the UK.
Yes. So they provide data set. They provide data for the carbon emission, like.
Yeah.
And we think maybe so in order to produce this kind of data and to organize it and to clean it, and it's maybe that the DEFRA should connect and align with university in order to work together, not just university waiting everything coming from the government, but they should work together instead of
I mean, the framework, DEFRA or EPSRC here in the UK, even the Horizon 2020, if you go to the European market, they do have, and if you look at softwares like CIMAPRO, they do have data sets, and they do. But the problem is an issue between a generic data set and a specific data set, okay? We can always, through simulation, generate different data sets, and we can validate it through basic points, node points, but how are they real in reality to life here, okay? That's what we need to start mimicking is reality. Okay, I can simulate anything you want for me. I have a computer program, I can write a code for it, but does it take everything into humidity, temperature changes? Integration is in a systematic way, and that's what I'm diffusing the word systems engineering rather than traditional engineering into everything that we do, because the data set has to be a holistic data set. What I get from DEFRA, what I get from EPRC, whatever I get from different bodies is a focused data set that I can model an ideal system. I don't want an ideal system because I don't live in an ideal world. Ideal world, every system integrates with each other. Hence, I need a holistic set of data. And that's where the companies generate these sets of data, because their environment condition changes. It's hot, humidity. It impacts on my reaction. It impacts on my flow rates. It impacts on any other nodes that I want. They have the real sets of data that I need. I don't want just a simple data to prove a concept. I can do that with simulation.
Excellent. I think this is a key point that I took away as well. Thank you, Dr. Muhammad. One of the key things that we face as well is this industry partnerships, and somehow we as the academics are forced to kind of approach it in an aggressive way, yet we don't really get much back. So perhaps applying these suggestions in that we push for policies to ensure that this is a two-way conversation as opposed to a bolted-on conversation. Thank you, Dr. Muhammad. I think I did take notes.
Okay. Yeah.
And what as you were talking, I took notes and I was creating in my head a new study. And I just want to ask on a surface level, in universities in general, do you know who the go-to person is who ensures that there is sustainability or SDGs embedded in any kind of research or any kind of policy that's being regulated or implemented? Do you know a go-to person?
I believe you have to contact the people who are working for accreditation. That is the point where the universities start to focus on the areas that will help them to take accreditation and enhance their QS ranking.
That's ideal, but I want to go back one step. It sounds so simple, yet it's so I can't even think. Usually it's me or somebody who is basically an activist, much like most people in this room. I call myself an academic activist. You know why? Because I am the go-to person for the SDGs. I am the one who's pushing for policies to become embedded, not just a kind of like a complementary check later on. Should be Q&A.
No, but I want to add one small point here. Why I mentioned this is like an ironic statement, I would say. When the universities show up their ranking and the requirements that they have met,
It's
Then,
wow.
you know, then only they put a tick. Okay, I have to work on sustainability because this point is missing in the accreditation process. That's what we're gonna do. It will
سألت
reduce
المشكلة أحتاج ما
So
في
it's not because
إعادة
contributing to sustainability, rather it's a requirement to go ahead.
لو أرسل لك
We
على
are going to
الآيفون
do an FDG tracker, and I think it's
أنا عندي في الآيفون.
it was all
بس
of the
بنزل كيف؟
Voluntary. We are advocates.
لو في واتساب أيوه
other way around,
It should
the
be the other way
mandatory thing. That's why we are doing it. So composing a voluntary approach in the
you
process.
just take a picture
is the
with your
right
phone.
solution. Yeah, but anyway, you have to go to the people who are in quality and accreditation.
You don't think it should be quality because quality goes more into academic as opposed to maybe
No, that's
community
just
side?
one part actually.
It should be embedded perhaps.
Yes, but
Could I just say, I mean,
plus, right?
It should be from
Yeah,
here.
resetting, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then there should be
that a position is given to somebody.
Yes.
A bit
link
like
device, this thing.
where you want, it's not, I think everyone can hear me. Okay. I think a bit with the EDI concept, for instance, everybody sort of focuses, oh, this is an EDI office. What does EDI actually mean?
Right.
You know, it doesn't make any sense really. It should be integrated into the way you work all the time, and it shouldn't be something that you need to have an officer for. When it comes
This
to
is usually
SDGs,
quick.
particularly in the UK, I would
But
say
quicker.
there is almost a resistance to incorporate it in anything because they think we don't need it. It's for the LLCs, it's for the people who have as far our own progress. I am often stunned when I'm talking to students or I'm teaching on a master's course or whatever, that you even mention one SDG and everybody's a bit confused and looking at you bewildered, even though your master's course is full of elements. So I think you're absolutely right. There isn't a specific person to go to. And unless you change the ethos and the culture of the institution, there is no other way around it. And I tell you right now, and I'm based in Seattle.
Oh, there you go.
So how do you
Right.
change it? You exactly what you're saying, which is you become an activist, you become an advocate, so you also become a pain in the backside. So everybody is and they, well, you know, she's talking about that again, and is it really gonna there is this, then and this. And I think the same with a lot of
Oh, we need to share
people,
screen.
they build themselves.
From
I have to stop sharing the other one.
can they see it?
That's what the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, just to make sure it's shared.
Okay. Where is this one?
Yeah, it's here. Just go close WhatsApp.
Close the WhatsApp, yeah. This
For
one.
instance. So, yeah, you should write.
yeah,
This is the one here.
Just say we're glad with this form.
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. And I think in general, business and sustainability are.
You can share the whole. I think you can share the whole entire. Look here. Yeah, share. Right, it's now there.
You sure?
I think so.
So do you guys?
I don't know. Are you sure?
I think so.
And as a matter of fact.
Do you have-
to come up with the-
Is it open or?
So as we wait for that to come, one more thing that I wanted to bring to light as well.
I think it should work.
Stop sharing,
In the
please.
UK, I recently, or at least.
Stop share.
In my class, whenever I went to the SDG, it's kind of like, you know, now we.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, again, we've got the stigma that in the Arab world, we're.
Yeah, so we're ready.
Yes.
If we're stopping people from lunch now.
I saw a clicker earlier. There was a clicker.
That most higher education students have no idea what this is either. Most
Admin?
higher education students don't know, so even in the Middle East, where we think we're a bit, you know, usually further behind. Typical, you know, we're not far off from the Europeans who are claiming these SDGs as pro, you know, being proactive delegates or contributors to the SDGs. Yes, are you ready, Doctor? Sorry.
Just
Take
plug
your
in
time.
this.
Yeah.
Where? Oh, here. Here.
Is lack of awareness in academia and in the sector about.
And it works?
because I came from.
Oh,
Microbiology.
okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
Is it working now?
It is working, yes.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
Oh, I
The
see.
down button. Could you go with the next?
Oh, I see. Okay, makes sense. Thanks, Professor.
To this, to the SDGs, it's basically the people who are making the profit and contributing to the planet. So if people don't know what their part is in all of this, we've got a big problem. Last but not least, we've got from the University of Cambridge, Dr. Mohammed Al-Awami, research, who will be talking to us today about research and innovation access, a capacity building approach for tangible outcomes. Please help me welcome Dr. Mohammed.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much for allowing me this opportunity. The mic?
There's like 3 mics, but I don't know.
Yeah, there was, I think, the small one. Oh, yeah. This one I don't need. Oh, I need this one.
There you go.
Let's see, how did it? Yes. Okay. Here? Oh, I see. Perfect. All right. Okay. All right. I hope you can hear me all right. My pleasure today to present to you our work on empowering leadership in research and innovation in developing countries. This is an approach that we've been developed specifically because after talking to the UNESCO for a few years, they've discussed a lot that one of the UN priorities is to empower leadership, and the gap is increasing. So the leadership specifically in research and innovation is increasing rapidly. Specifically, if we look into the developing countries, and it gets a lot worse in the least developed countries as well. So this approach we've been developing to empower real leaderships who are not just people who learn the skills or just publish one paper. They're really leaders that results in doing a lot of research and publishing a lot of work, like proper, PIs, what we see here in the UK, as well as innovation. So enabling innovators and building companies that comes out of research. So why are we doing this? Obviously, if any of us look into the research outcome or the innovation outcome in the developing countries, you can look into the colors here on the left side. You can see the level of publications in the global south and in many of the developing countries is very, very low. Same with innovations. You can see if you also look into Africa, in this case, it's very scarce. And this is what we want to do, is to work not only on training people on how to become researchers and innovators, but how do we enable leaders who will stay in their country and drive their countries forward. So we have tested basically multiple models here, but before I tell you what we've done, I want to tell you about the problem. So when we talk to those people who want to be research and innovation leaders, can you do it now? And they said what's available at this stage, they can either follow leaders on social media to learn how they do it, or they do online courses. Both of those are not very effective. They're completion-based, there's no monitoring, there's no ecosystem that really support them, which makes things not very effective in capacity building. So after really investigating the matter a lot, and what's really lacking, what should we improve here, we have come up with a new model where ReachSci, which is the organization that's responsible for this work, which I founded about a few years ago. We train super talented people to become leaders practically. It's not just theory. So we train them on how do they become leaders, and then they lead immediately through the programs that we've designed for them. And this leads to an achievement, and not just an achievement of a project, the result is going to be a lot of papers if they're, for example, research leaders, where they receive mentorship from us, and our ecosystem basically enable all of this. And this obviously leads to significant outcome. And I'll show you some examples today. So what are the things that we have been doing? So we've done 4 different leaderships roads so far. We've done research leaderships through mini PhD program. We've done innovation leaderships through Innovation Champion program. We've done venture building or venture leadership, where people build startups through the fellowship program. And also we've done also social impact leadership. But today, through the Reach Leadership program. But today I'll just give you examples from the research leadership and the innovation leadership. So how do we do this? Initially, anybody who wants to develop their leaderships, they register their interest, and then they learn a few things at their own pace. And then we take them through a 2-week program. And then immediately they go and start doing leadership work. So they go and organize programs, and research projects globally from 4 countries to 20 countries. We have people who've done 4 countries already immediately during this program, and some people who've done up to 20 countries. And then they run these programs, and these basically programs are research projects. So they go and design research projects, and then they run these research projects across many countries. And then eventually this leads to some publication. And we've done this in all the different research areas. These are some of our very successful research leaders. We have one in food and nutrition, animal physiology, multi-educations, and tourism. And this is an example of a program that we've done where it was focused on glucometer reliability. We had world leaders. Because each program that we do, we want to ensure that it matches the global level. So anything that's delivered, we have global leaders. This is some of the participants. Again, this is a program that is led by a research leader that we've trained. So they've run the program in 20 countries. This is some of the publications that has been resulted. So remember, again, just to explain it again, we come in, we train research leaders. The research leaders go and then run research programs across many countries. Then the participants publish the work with the help of the research leader. So these 24 publications in about 2 years were done by only 4 research leaders. So you can see the outcome is incredible that comes from those people, and they just started. So and we've realized through this that people are able to publish way more publications. So instead of, so for example, we have one PhD student, they usually publish 1 paper a year. Now they can publish 10 papers a year with collaborations in 10 countries. So the outcome in terms of papers and collaborations, at least 10x now. So we really enable leaders who can compete with professors in developed countries, because in terms of outcomes and collaborations. In terms of innovations, we also do something similar where people register and then we train them, and then they go and deliver our programs. And then this leads to innovations and innovators, because this program is a little bit easier to do. We have much more people are delivering those programs across many countries. And this is some of the results. So you can see here, we have produced more than 42 innovations, very exciting startups, a startup from Zimbabwe, a startup from Kenya, and a startup from Jordan. All of them are producing amazing products that really would be making huge impact in their countries. So what is the goal of presenting here is obviously we always look for feedback. We want to do things better. We want to enable people better. We want to build better capacity across the developing countries. We want to make, amazing leaders in those countries that can really, get to the level of people who do research and innovations in the developed countries. We want to build obviously partnership to scale. We want to reach more countries, more people, and so on. And we're looking obviously for expert advice. If anybody has been doing something similar, we'd love to learn from each other and to join our board if anybody matches obviously what we do. And that's it. Thank you for listening. Yes.
Sorry. Okay, we can open the floor for questions. Go ahead.
I'm opening it for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So just because you're at Cambridge, which is my alma mater, I know they're always very keen on collaborative and global work. They don't always follow it through though. They're very good at this bit. They're not so good at the implementation and funding onwards bit. So just we've got a group, we've got a massive consortium. It goes across Asia, Africa, and the UK. And the consortium is very much similar to what you are talking about, except we focused it on women's health and empowerment. And I'm watching what you're doing, and we started about 6-7 years ago, so we're a little bit ahead of you in that.
You started 6 years ago.
We started the group.
Yeah.
We're a big group, so we started about 6-7 years ago, and so we're a bit ahead of you on the curve. Now, what's interesting about your project is you are you're intersecting with different types of research groups and so on. Once you get them, so two things: funding. Thank you. Funding for your innovators, your chosen leaders. What happens to funding once you get them on board, and who's providing that funding? And the second thing is, are they cross-collaborating between each other or collaborating in their own silo? In other words, if you are doing one particular thing in Uganda, and I trained also in Zimbabwe, so I know Zimbabwe well. I know most of Africa well because I did a lot of my training there. So if you're based in Zimbabwe, are you just doing Zimbabwe? Or are you going to get Zimbabwe to speak to Uganda? Uganda speak to somebody else? How are you setting it all up?
So first of all, about the funding. So we started right during COVID, and funding was very, very limited. You know, the UK stopped the global funding. The US now is stopping, US aid and so on. And we tried to develop a model where you can run without funding. So fully volunteering based, everyone is doing it volunteering based. And so far, we almost never got any funding or even applied. Because again, once you ask for funding, you put a big limitation on really continuing on sustainability. So we tried to develop a model where you can do it completely without any funding. So that's about the funding. And I believe this is why we've been able to do things quicker, because once you start, we're doing a program with the university, for example. It took us 3 years now in organizations, and we still haven't received the funding. 3 years. And it's supposed to impact 6 people, whereas now without funding we're impacting thousands already. So this is the first part. The second part is, yes, cross collaboration is very important. So once we enable a leader in any country, they have to go and deliver the program across many countries. The least, for example, we had one of the leaders we've trained was from Morocco, and he went into 4 different countries. That's the least. But we always encourage for much longer. We had another one who did 20 countries. So this is very important for us, the cross countries collaborations.
Thank you. I would agree with you about the so the training and the voluntary nature is what made us grow so quickly.
Yeah.
We then managed to get some funding, particularly from NIHR and other agency groups. You're right about the US in particular. US was that we got quite a bit of funding initially from USAID and gender health and so on, but a lot of that's dried up completely. Luckily, because we had the volunteering aspect, you can keep it going.
100%.
But I think that's another arena where collaborative working, and yesterday we heard from the Saudi group about project funding. I see no reason why this group present here couldn't work together at securing funding for such projects.
Exactly.
Because I think you will disseminate information quickly, upskill quickly.
Yes. 100%.
Be keen on doing something like that.
There are some people who are very good at raising funding. We don't have those yet.
Something.
Yes.
You know, funding is quite easier in Saudi Arabia. I have been a part of many research projects. These were like large projects, million scale and small scale, where But the funding, the concept, you wouldn't believe it's not about the real research outcome. Rather to have the publication in Q1, or you can say science, social science citation, science citation based publication, and probably you would agree with me. Because we have lots of research projects coming in to me directly, particularly because I'm a part of research group, a huge research group currently. Alhamdulillah for that. And their conditions are this way. Okay, you will be the first author, your affiliation, blah, blah, blah. We will have 3-4 authors, but the paper should be published. If, for example, they're not really focusing on the outcome of the research.
Yeah, you're right. So we've been publishing in Nature and Sci reports and so on. Just that's the only way to get attention.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is the impact now is starting to work through other like BMC, Women's Health, and so on. And what's happening is we're getting interest from media. So in India, for instance, we had CNN in Asia wanting to talk to us about the project. So 2 of the team members were talking about it there. So I think you're right. You have to do a bit of that.
Yeah.
And then you have to do a bit of, I think a lot of us have to do more media, and not just social media, but mainstream media as well.
I think we need another conference.
Yes.
Focusing on the publication idea, not only for the indexed. We are just so desperate.
I think we can take that conversation to this is endless. Absolutely. And I think this is one of the reasons I said don't give it to QA because QA will just make it more of a checklist. So thank you for sharing that. And of course, we'd love to come together. Dr. Alam, we're waiting for you to bring us again together, inshallah.
Yeah, and Dr.
I'm sorry, we're gonna have to cut this short. Sure, let's discuss this later because it is lunchtime after this. So you're
Cut on lunch, yes.
yeah, take some Dr. Smith, thank you so much.
Of course, it's my pleasure.
I will be marketing our journal for that matter, which is giving a good opportunity.
I'd love to hear more about your research study and you've got some kind of framework that we can also apply ourselves to make it even.
Can I just ask one question, please? About that, continuing this project, how you can help these leaders to stay in their countries and continue this work instead of just finish the after they finish the project, they can.
So the project is done. They don't come to the UK. They never come here. They all the work that they do from their country already. Yeah.
But after that, how you continue with them the work so they can stay and make this impactful.
So
after the project.
So we continue with them doing more programs and giving them more support until they get to a stage where they're very comfortable of doing things on their own. For example, if somebody got their own lab, they just carry on then with their own lab. Some people went to become Fulbright scholars, for example, and then they build more collaborations in the US and so on. So, yeah.
So the universities will, so if they're already in their universities, already employed, actually what you're doing is helping them go up the ladder as well. So a lot of them become professors, etc.
That's another very important point. They are earning points for the increments, for the promotions, for the job change.
All right. Thank you. That was this topic. Thank you very much.
Now we're going to go for lunch. We're lunch by 25 minutes, which is late. But I want to excite you when you come back after lunch. The first paper is going to be by Sarah Hussain, top architect in the UK, distinction from UCL, and she is a judge, one of the judges of RIBA, which is the Royal Institute of British Architects for the entire Middle East. Top architect, well organized. Secondly, we're going to listen to this gentleman from Yale University in fantastic talk. Really, I really like it. I read your paper. Used as a catalyst of climate change, really. Fantastic paper is waiting for you. And then we will delve into a big project from Saudi Arabia, 4 or 5 people, including the professor. I hope she will connect. And then we're going to have the vice rector from Poland. He's going to lead the last session today. And we're all excited to hear 2 people. I'm not saying they are better than you or more important than you, but one of them is Elsevier. It's been mentioned. They're going to tell us here, Elsevier, they said they're going to tell us how Elsevier is supporting organization with their SDG strategy. This is the biggest organization we all know. They're going to come to talk here. And we will conclude with both Khalid Hassan and Philip Kotler from the US. Philip Kotler himself, yes, you have the pleasure to see him face to face today. And we will hope, if we go to the US, we can see him. So I think there's a lot of things. and we have a much more bigger excitement. I wouldn't tell you now. We will come back. Big surprise. Big, so if you come back 2 o'clock sharp, you can have that 5 minutes to see a big surprise. So the lunch for those who just arrived today, just you go by the stair down in the same room in the 7th floor. But before you go, we need to do, am I right, the protocol expert. I should be here. So we have a protocol expert, by the way. Yes. Can you see? He's expert, by the way. So is this correct? And he's okay?
I say.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You want to come to the show? Yeah, Martin. Change the background, just 1 second, Martin.
Yeah.
So it can be for all other people. Just 1 second. No, sorry, I want to take this one off.
The Lost website. What time is Professor Cutler going to be on?
After lunch. Was.org.uk.
Because I think I'll go home after this with my husband.
Okay, so we will. So yeah, we follow the protocol. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Martin.
Mazin will now come and fix it even better.
Okay. One more. Thank you.
Great.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
And then
Thank you.
Dr. Nishu. Well, that was very good to the market analysis. Okay, 2. One more. Right. Yeah, thank you very much. And Dr. Muhammad Hassan. By the way, Mr. Muhammad Hassan founded the chemical engineering at Southampton. Co-branding. He's the founder of the whole program, by the way. Well done, Dr. Really. Thank you. I'm number 5 in the UK now. You have 1 minute to come and have your group picture quickly, and then we go.
Yes.
You can come all, Hassan and Kibriti, all of you quickly. But do it quickly because it's comes down from your lunch.
Okay.
I went to Jordan, and at some point before coffee, they said we can't serve coffee because of turbulence. So fine. So we waited until we arrived. They said it's too late to give you now. Come here,
I know.
But can you? Yes. Lucia, you want to come forward to be more visible? Yes. But make sure you see everyone.
Everybody can be seen.
Come, he will give you the picture. Come.
You can give your mobile.
Yalla, you can orient as you like.
I give the course contribution.
اللي ورا.
That's become yeah.
3, 2. Come in front of it. Come in front. Yeah.
This one.
Now you're going to read out it.
3, 2. More. Right.
Thank you.
Okay, so just down the stair, 1 step down, number 7. This is the 8th floor.
Where we had our coffee.
Which we have yesterday. Yes.
Yeah.
So let's do it quickly, please. Yes. Yes.
Sarah Husseini. Sarah Husseini try in person.
لا سارة.